that if we need it. I've got their affidavits. I mean, so we could say, yeah, she's pitched, 6 shutouts and all that stuff. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to George Wilson Field at Vanderburg Park in Kalamazoo, Michigan, where we're awaiting the start of the championship game in the major division of the Little League Softball World Series.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to the National Championship.
In the background, you'll be hearing our public address announcer, Dick Dombas.
Softball National Championship.
This game will pit Glendale, California, the representative of the western region,
Glendale, California,
against Naples, Florida, from the south region. I'm Tim DeHaan. I'll be with you tonight on doing the play-by-play. With me is Bob Klein, who will be providing all kinds of color. And we'll just kind of sit back and watch what happens here.
From Glendale, Wendy West.
We're going to have the introduction of both teams and the umpires. We'll have the national anthem.
Lisa Castillo.
And a first ball being thrown out.
Cameron Hall. The star of the Little League banquet circuit, Meredith Kimber. At the starting lineups, leading off and playing shortstop, Shannon Felix. Doing the pitching for Glendale and batting second, Cindy Bennett. Playing the rover position and batting third, Veronica Acosta. At first base and hitting fourth, Brenda Lyon. Batting fifth and playing second base, Tracy Young. Hitting sixth at third base, Darlene Anderson. Batting seventh and playing right field, April McGeorge. Hitting in the eighth position for Glendale and playing center field, Annabelle Camacho. Batting ninth and doing the catching this evening, Jennifer Smith. And hitting 10th and playing left field, Monica Hernandez. The manager is Frank Young. The coach, Frank Kornblatt. ADA, Chris Kohlmeyer. And league president, Gail Young.
There you have the Glendale team being announced. Glendale is undefeated. This is a double elimination tournament. And Naples will be playing with one loss. Naples will have to win tonight to force a second game tomorrow. If Glendale wins this ball game, they will indeed be the major division champions of the Little League Softball World Series for 1988. Now the Naples team.
Kara Brousseau. Jenny Isaacs. Peck Brown. Alice Cook. At the starting lineups, leading off and playing shortstop, Jean Bonisi. Batting second and playing left field, Melissa Tolson. Hitting third and playing center field, Victoria Lanier. Playing the rover position and batting fourth, Jana Knezovich. Hitting fifth and playing right field this evening, Karen Blandford. Batting sixth and playing third base, Nikki Calavides. Hitting seventh and playing second base, Elizabeth Bartels. Batting eighth and behind the plate, Tanya Brousseau. Hitting ninth and playing first base, Crystal Hamilton. And on the mound this evening and batting in the 10th position, Angela Curlew. The manager, George Pittman, the coach, Connie Ledbetter, and league vice president, Joyce Tice, Naples, Florida.
And there you have Naples, Florida. We're going to be introducing the umpires.
The umpires for this evening's championship game behind the plate.
And an interesting thing about the umpires is that they come from all over the United States. This is a real prestigious honor to be
at first base from
selected
Kaiser,
to
Oregon,
umpire here. Karen King, the home plate umpire, is from Mount Nebo, West Virginia.
At second base from Jacksonville,
Harry Pease
Florida,
at first
Charlie
base
Hartman.
is from Kaiser, Oregon. Charlie Hartman from Jacksonville,
base from
Florida,
Tampa,
will be at
Florida, Frank Smith.
second base. At third base, Frank Smith from Tampa, Florida.
On the right field line
Terry
from
Coburn.
Vicksburg, Michigan, Terry Coburn.
On the foul line from Vicksburg, Michigan. A lot of people who are familiar with Little League softball in this area will recognize Terry. And from East Haven, Connecticut, on the other foul line, Ed Rupiano.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and face center
Our
field.
national anthem will now be sung by Amy Echak, a young lady from Mattawan, Michigan.
Remain standing for the Little League pledge to be given by Amy Bolvin, and for our first ball ceremony, girls, remain on the line.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were the flowers last gleaming, and the rockets rang clear, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I trust in God, I love my country, and will respect its laws. I will play fair and strive to win, but win or lose, I will always do my best.
Very good.
That was the
Amy.
Little League pledge. That was from another
Ladies
young
and
lady
gentlemen, I
from
would like to call your
Mattawan,
attention
Amy
to the announcing
Bolvin.
booth.
And the
where
first
Don
pitch will be thrown
Overlander,
out
mayor
from
of
the
the city of Portage, will throw
announcing
out the
booth by
first pitch.
Mayor Don Overlander
He's
from
going
the
to be
city of
firing that
Portage.
ball to Tanya Brousseau down there in the catcher's mound. It is a strike. Don, thank you very much. Good luck, girls.
And we're about ready to play ball here. Bob, maybe you'd like to familiarize us a little bit with what might be different with the major division in softball.
Well, what we have this evening is the Little League Softball Championship game. These girls are primarily 12 years old. We have a few 11-year-olds out here. As the fans heard, if they were listening to the introduction of the teams, that there were 10 players. There's a rover player that is usually positioned somewhere in the outfield, although she can be positioned in the infield, wherever the manager would like to place her. There will be no leading off. There are no stealing of bases. There are walks, and that will be the key to this evening's game, I would say, is which pitcher can get the ball over the plate. Hopefully, both of these young girls will be on. We'll have an excellent game, and I think we'll try to explain a little bit more of it as we go on here.
One other thing is that there is also no bunting at this level.
That's right.
What to look for, young lady pitching for Naples is a young lady by the name of Angela Curlew. She's pitched 2 games so far. She started out the first game of the World Series for Naples and was defeated 2-0, pitched a real fine ball game. But Naples couldn't score any runs for her against Indianapolis. And then she came back and faced Indianapolis in a rematch and defeated them 14-0. Obviously turned around the runs for her. They gave her a lot of support, and she's thrown very well. She's 1-1, but it's only given up 2 runs in her 2 games.
Naples has started to hit the ball the last couple of games. I think they came out here the first game, whether it was the heat, the travel, or what it was, but both of the teams in that opening game of the major division were very, very tight, I thought, and it was a good ball game, but there just wasn't any bat power going either way. So hopefully this evening we'll see a game with lots of hitting, lots of action.
Well, they'll be going up Glendale, California team that has had what we would call just dominating pitching up to the World Series. Before they got here, they had played 13 ball games. 11 of them were shutouts, and they gave up 3 runs in the other 2 games, I believe. Now, they won the opening game that they played here 6-0 behind the young lady who's pitching tonight, Cindy Bennett. And then they had a 6-0 lead going into their second ball game against Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, and gave up 4 runs in that game in the 6th inning and still won the ball game. But the thing to watch is their overpowering pitching.
Well, I think you have to remember that they are 12-year-old girls. This is for the national championship, and there's got to be butterflies out there.
First pitch of the ball game is to the shortstop, number 12, Shannon Filez, and it's a strike called by Karen Kay. On this level, as Bob alluded to, with 10 players out here, these are all all-star caliber players. They play, generally, they're very good defensive ball players, and the key is to throw strikes. If you can minimize the number of walks and at least put the ball in play, usually you have a real good chance because you've got some excellent athletes out there on the field. Ground ball to Benici at short. She juggled it a little bit. Throw. Nice scoop at first base by Crystal Hamilton. Young Shannon Filez gave it that old college try, slid into first, but nice arm at the short and a good pickup.
Talking about great athletes, and there you have a super play on both ends of that.
Anybody that's been out here over the years that's watched will know that Naples, Florida has had teams here, I believe every year that we've had the tournament here, which is the 9th consecutive year it's been in Kalamazoo. And the young shortstop for Naples, Jean Benici, there's a line drive into right field. It's in there for a hit. She's in there. I guess I would probably score that as a hit and maybe an error on the right fielder. A good solid single. That was tonight's pitcher for Glendale, Cindy Bennett. Moving up to the plate is the rover, number 11, Veronica Caston. What I was getting at, Bob, was that the shortstop for Naples, Jean Benici, had a sister by the name of Edie Benici that played on several teams from Naples that was here in previous years. We've got a runner on second base with 1 out. Top of the first inning, Glendale, California batting, Naples, Florida in the field. Count of 1-1 on a Caston. Looks like she went fishing, Bob, up around her eyes there.
That's my old weak spot, right up there, right around the eyebrows.
Time out as the pitcher is going to get the warm-up jacket. Flag is dead still right now. We don't have any sun. The temperature is very comfortable. Earlier today, in the senior game, the game that was completed about an hour ago, Canton, North Carolina rattled their bats all over the place and defeated Essexville, Michigan 19-2. That eliminated Essexville and puts Canton into the championship game Saturday at 1 o'clock against Tigard, Oregon. As we have time, we'll let everybody know who's been in the field and how we got to this point in the major division. Struck her out swinging. Good pitch. He had a good rip, just didn't make contact.
Brenda Lyon.
Cleanup hitter is Brenda Lyon, first baseman, number 22. Brenda came in, plays a real good first base. She came in the 6-4 victory over Shippensburg and struck out the batter with the score 6-4 and 2 runners on. So she picked up the only save we've seen so far at the World Series this year. Bob, for a little girl, she really brings it in there.
She's windmill and she's bringing it in, and she's got the strike zone.
She's been impressive so far this week. If you look at her, you'd never believe that for her size that she could pop it in like that.
Fans will get an idea right there as the pass ball. There was no advancement on the runners simply because the runners cannot move up at this level on pass balls. And think of this going back to the local league level where you have 10 and 11-year-olds would be walking around the diamond all night long without really getting into the concept of softball.
Well, she struck her out, so on the inning there was no runs, 1 hit, 1 error.
After 1/2 inning.
And Cindy Bennett was left stranded at second base.
That was a big half inning for Naples. I thought if Naples could get by the first couple of innings here, I think they'll give Glendale, California all they want as far as the softball game is concerned this evening. Especially at this level, a team that can get a lead has a big advantage. Well, as you know, in the past, when we get into a major championship game like this, many times it's a one-run ball game, 1-zip, 2-1, and we'll just have to see what Glendale does in the field now and how Naples comes after that plate. They've been banging the ball an awful lot in the last couple of games, so.
One of the things that we're going to do tonight is we're going to try to have a few interviews for you between innings. We'll probably be talking to Bud Vandenberg, who's the tournament director and the driving force that got the tournament here to start with. We'll chat with Linda Osterhaus, who's a housing coordinator out in Parchment. Linda has arranged for 2 of the teams to be staying here in Kalamazoo. What we do is we have 2 of the competitors stay in 2 apiece staying in various households around the greater Kalamazoo area. We'll be chatting with Ruben Cuesta, an umpire from Tampa, Florida, who comes up here just about every year now to umpire, one of the finest umpires you'll see. And with Robert Iamuri, who's with the Naples contingent every year. Robert's been a coach and a manager at various levels for Naples. So we're going to try to give you not only the play-by-play of this game, but also give you an idea of how it got here and all the behind-the-scenes activities. Young lady pitching tonight, Cindy Bennett, is quite an all-around athlete. An excellent basketball player. She rotates between second base with Tracy Young. They rotate one pitches, the other plays second base. I've been trying to remember to ask the manager from Glendale if Tracy Young was any relation to Cy Young, but I haven't had a chance to. That would be a good angle, Bob. First pitch is popped right in there for a strike. Leadoff hitter is Gene Bonici, the shortstop, number 12. Gene is the pitcher also for Naples. If they were to win this game, she would be pitching tomorrow. She is every bit as good as Angela Curlew, but is extremely valuable at shortstop. So they like that combination as their top combination, with Curlew pitching and Bonici at short.
I want to also point out that in Little League, once you throw one pitch, you are through for the next day. Rules that are enforced to preserve the arms of these young athletes. So it becomes kind of a checkerboard square as to who pitches on what day, particularly in a game like this where you have the championship, but if Naples were to win it, they would have to come back tomorrow and play the if game because each team then would have one loss. But the fact remains you still have to win the first game to play the second.
That's right. It's a good point. You cannot pitch in 2 consecutive ball games, even as Bob mentioned, if you throw one pitch. That kills you for the next game. Got a real nice crowd here tonight. Ground ball to short. Shannon Felix came up with the ball. Her throw was in the dirt, and Brenda Lyon wasn't able to scoop it. It's kind of almost a carbon copy of the way the game started. The only difference was that the first baseman for Naples was able to scoop that ball up. So Jean Benici is on first base with number 13, Melissa Tolson, in the batter's box. Melissa's the left fielder. One of the things we'd like to do, we mentioned about the housing parents in the area, and we're going to be talking with Linda Ostrauss a little later, but as these ball players come up, we'll probably try to remember to tell you who they're staying with in Kalamazoo. Might be your neighbor. Melissa Tolson struck out. Melissa's staying out in West Portage area with Dee and Bob Walker.
Vicki Lanier.
Jean Benici, who's on first base, is staying with Carol and Ed Quant, who enjoy housing so much they have 4 of the ball players from Naples at their house. Stepping up to the plate is Victoria Lanier, number 21. She's a center fielder. Victoria has had 4 hits so far. 4 for 13. She's hitting .308. Of the 4 hits, she's had a triple and 2 doubles.
If she gets her bat on the ball the way Cindy Bennett is throwing, it'll go a mile.
We got 1 out and a runner on first base. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Naples, Florida batting, and Glendale, California out on the field. They had a scoreless top of the first. I don't know about you, Bob, but I'm starting to smell some of the excellent cuisine we have out here at the ballpark. The wind is blowing our way. I can smell hamburgers and hot dogs and kielbasa. We might have to have a takeout order over here.
Well, I snuck one before we got up here. I knew it was going to be a long evening.
Well, the count's even at 2-2. And for those of you who are just turning in, if you think you're kind of blinking and think you might be looking at Tiger Stadium, it's in that good a shape. The infield and outfield are just immaculate. We got to run it to a full count now. We have a lot of people to thank for that. Rich Gaisley is the head groundskeeper out here, and he's got a crew of probably a dozen men and young men out here that work on these fields for hours and hours at a time. Rich Gaisley was awarded the Distinguished Service Award for the Little League World Series last night at our tournament banquet. He's the 3rd recipient of that.
Very deserving, and if your yard looks anything like mine does this summer, you can appreciate the work that's gone into this field to see how great it is right now.
Well, she struck her out. The ball was down a little bit.
Looked like my golf swing.
But when that ball is coming from that short of a distance at that speed, it's tough to say, oh boy, that's about 4 inches low. Into the box is the Rover, number 22, the cleanup hitter. Jana Kanizovich. Bob and I had to work overtime last night studying up on some of the pronunciations. Got a 2-1 count now. 2 outs. Leadoff runner is still at first base. And now we're to the 3-1 count. Tell you what, Bob, I don't know if I'd want to go up there and have to try to get a base hit on this young lady.
She's bringing the mail home, as they say.
We've got tournament director Bud Vandenberg up here. We're going to be talking to him for a few moments after this inning. Kanizovich walks, and up to the plate is the right fielder, number 18, Karen Blanford. Karen is also staying with Carol and Ed Quant. Carol's had a couple of hits so far in the series. Count is 1-1. Forgot to mention that Jana Kanizovich is staying with Sandra and John Hendricks. Strike 3 called, and that ends the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 left on base at the end of 1 complete inning. Glendale, California 0, and Naples, Florida 0.
Cindy struck out the side, the 1 error.
No runs on, no hits, 1 error, 2 left on base, no score after 1 complete inning.
Well, we've got tournament director Bud Vandenberg up here.
We'd like to
Bud,
remind you fans,
this is the 9th year that this tournament has been at in Kalamazoo.
And they will take care of all the foul balls. We'd ask you not
what
to
can we
throw
look
those
for?
balls
Can we
back
look
on the
for
field.
9 more?
Return them to the ball.
Well, you
if
heard
will.
Dr. Hale's remarks last night at the banquet. There was a rumor floating around from Waco, Texas, that they were definitely going to have this tournament next year, and I think Dr. Hale put that rumor to bed when he said that this is the home of the Little League, Senior League Softball World Series.
Channels here in Kalamazoo.
What do you think about the competition this year?
Well, I think in the senior division, it's probably the best field, or one of the best that we've ever had. And these 2 teams that are playing here for the championship are definitely World Series caliber. And the big thing, and I'm sure you and Bob have noticed it, is the level of pitching in the major division. Each year it seems to get better and better, and as you watch these 2 young ladies throw out here tonight, it just bores out that fact.
I think if you went back 4 years ago, 5 years ago, you wouldn't have never seen anything like this on the major level.
No, it was just throwing the ball up there and hoping your defense would catch it. But this is an entirely different ball game, Tim.
Well, Bud, we sure thank you for stopping up here, and we really appreciate the efforts of you and all the staff. And I think we're going to go for, well, another 20 years. How about that?
Well, maybe you will, Tim, but I doubt I'll be around that long.
Thanks, Bud. Leading off for Glendale is the second baseman, Tracy Young. She pops it up. Nikki Calavides, third baseman, comes in and puts it away for the first out.
Darlene Anderson.
Stepping to the plate, number 17, Darlene Anderson. Darlene staying out in the Westwood area with Sue and Rudy Zeal. Darlene's 1 for 3 so far in this series. Tracy Young is staying with Wilma and Jack D. Korn. Well, now that's something you don't see very often, but with that 10th ball player, we'd score that 4-9-3, I believe. The ball was hit rather crisply toward right field. The second baseman deflected it. Right fielder was not playing particularly deep. She came in, picked it up, and threw out the batter.
Well, at the major level, you know, at 12 years of age, these girls don't have a lot of power, so that they can bring that outfield in quite a ways. And when you've got 10 ball players out there, it's like trying to hit the ball through an army of fielders. And that happens quite often at this level.
Earlier this week, there was another play very similar to that, and anybody that keeps score knows that a 4-9-3 play is virtually unheard of. We had the same thing, I think it was on Tuesday, and we were joking about, well, there was your classic 4-9-3, and here we have one this evening. So that's kind of a rarity. At the plate is the right fielder, number 13, April McGeorge, and she just went down swinging. 3 up, 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. April staying with Pam and Wendell Worringham. And at the end of an inning and a half, we're 0-0 with Naples, Florida coming to bat.
Well, both pitchers seem to have the good stuff this evening, and by that I mean they're getting the ball in the strike zone. Karen King's doing an excellent job back there on the balls and strikes. And I think the girls now know that they're going to have to swing the bat to.
We'd like to introduce you to two of the young ladies from Glendale. One of the non-starters is
that you always worry about
Lisa Castillo. Lisa is 12 years old.
12-year-old
Her
level.
friend Diana Costa is here with her, and she enjoys playing softball, spending a lot of time on the beach in the summer, and she's been a catcher most of the year. She's staying with Evelyn and Oscar Heinz.
It looks like these
Staying with Pam and Wendell Waringa here in Kalamazoo is Brenda Lyon. Brenda is 13 years old. Her dad came in yesterday, we understand.
Like Bud Vanderbilt was talking about how much the pitching has improved on the major level in the last 4 or 5 years. It just kind of is the way that women's softball has gone, period. I believe this is the 15th year of the Little League Softball World Series. The last 9 of which have been here in Kalamazoo, and the girls' athletic programs have just come so far in the last 10 years that it's just amazing when you stop and think that you've got 11 and 12-year-olds, mainly 12-year-olds out here that are performing like they are, keeping in mind that these young ladies have probably been on the road for about 2 weeks since they've even been home. And we've got the Glendale team here from California and the South team here from Naples, Florida. So it's not like, you know, they're able to be settled into their normal routines or anything like they were at home.
Well, for a lot of these young ladies, just the change in the climates. Although we've accommodated most of the girls from the South this year with our high temperature, high humidity. Perhaps it was warmer here than it was where they live. But it's a nice Michigan day right now.
Well, Cindy Bennett just rings up another K, another strikeout as she catches Nikki Calavides looking. Nikki was the third baseman. Nikki staying with Shelley Seward. At the plate, we've got number 15, Elizabeth Bartels. She's the second baseman. Elizabeth is staying with Gail Ginter. And after that leadoff ground ball with a shortstop by Gene Benisi, we've had nothing but strikeouts.
Nothing but Ks.
Got a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes now. As a manager, you'd hate to see that called third strike. Count is now even, 2-2.
Well, most of these girls have been taking their cuts.
Naples, as we mentioned, was shut out in their opening game 2-0. But then they came back and have been scoring some runs. Strike three.
I think if you were watching the batter on that one, you'll note that it was a lazy swing at that ball.
Tanya Brousseau.
Now, I'd like you to notice, if you can, the batter, how far up in the box she is.
Naples moved their batters up in the middle of that first inning. They were standing way back, and apparently the dugout, the manager, had the girls move way up. Now, they seem to be coming back a little bit, but I think that might just be a 12-year-old.
Well, I think we've been watching them this week, and I think what they've been doing, and maybe when we talk to Robert Armuri, he might clue us in on that, but I think what they do is they get up there until they get a strike. If you notice, the first pitch was a called strike, and then she moved back. Because as far up in the box as they stand with a 0-0 count, if they did any kind of striding, they'd be out of the batter's box. Just an educated guess. At the plate is number 9, Tanya Brousseau. She's the catcher. And she's staying with Joanne and Tim Morachek. She hits a ground ball back to the mound. Cindy Bennett handles it crisply, throws over to Brenda Lyon for the third out. And we've got 3 up, 3 down.
3 up, 3 down, no
in that
score
inning.
after 2 complete innings.
And we have no score at the end of 2.
Well, we've been talking about the pitching a lot in this the major program for 12-year-olds. I believe it was about 4 years ago that they did change the pitching rules as far as what the girls could do on the mound. And windmill prior to that was unheard of at the 12-year-old level. Once they changed the rules so that these young ladies could windmill, the caliber of pitching at the major level has gone sky high, as Mr. Vandenberg alluded to. I can remember 3 or 4 years ago out here where you were seeing a lot of, I call them just big pumpkins being thrown up there, underhanded tosses, and some of these girls couldn't even get the ball to the plate at the World Series level. So we've come a long way. We've talked about coming a long way from these teams. We have to bear in mind, those of you that are familiar with Little League, that each of these teams, for example, Naples, which is out in the field right now, actually is the all-star team from the Naples Little League program. They start off participating.
Annabelle Camacho leads off the top of the third for California.
Local or district level in tournament play, and if you win at the local level, then you go on into a sectional, usually between several districts in your state. From there, you advance on to the state finals. If you're lucky enough to win your state final, then you go into what we call a regional, of which we have 4 of them: the South, the East, the West, and the Central. And those 4 winners then eventually make it to Kalamazoo, Michigan for the World Series. So these girls, as Tim alluded to, have been on the road almost constantly for 3 weeks, and the last 2 of which have been away from home.
For instance, the first game that Glendale played was on July 18th. And for Naples, they started out their all-star journey on the 11th of July. At the plate is Annabelle Camacho, number 15. She's the center fielder. Annabelle is staying with Evelyn and Oscar Heinz. She's up there with a 2-strike count. She's been hanging tough. That's about 3 foul balls in a row for her.
In a row. Swing a little late.
Making her work, as they say. Annabelle just took that one outside, kind of breathed a little sigh of relief. Fairly close call. And she's worked from that 0-2 hole up to a 3-2 count now. It'd really be something if she could work it for a walk or a base hit after getting in that kind of a hole. And she did. She worked the walk. Now to the plate is the catcher, number 19, Jennifer Smith. She's staying with Nancy and Al DeVries.
Jennifer Smith.
Nancy, one of our hard-working committee people. Nancy's responsible for putting together the Welcome to Kalamazoo bags that we give to all of the competitors when they are greeted at home plate at the opening day ceremonies when we have the picnic. By the way, Bob, I know you're real instrumental in that picnic, and that the beef was superb this year.
Well, I think we had like a total of the count, but somewhere near 700 people that enjoyed the picnic Monday evening at the opening day ceremonies. And if you've never been out to Wilson Field and Vandenberg Park at Millwood, the first day of the World Series is something to behold, to see all these teams on the field and the host parents that are out here taking care of their adopted daughters for the week.
Monica Hernandez.
Well, Jennifer Smith just hit a ground ball to the second baseman, Elizabeth Bartels. She fielded it cleanly, went over to Crystal Hamilton at first and got the out. Did move the runner up to second base. At the plate, number 3, left fielder Monica Hernandez. Monica is staying with Sue and Bill Kerrickman. Kind of leans into that pitch, and
I think both teams appear to be taking the first strike. Let's see if she gets a little more set to hit the ball.
she takes a strike, and the count is 1-2 now. Monica is the number 10 hitter in the lineup. And she evens the count at 2-2. And now she runs the count full. She goes down swinging. She got a good rip there. Now we've got 2 down, and we're at the top of the order with Shannon Filez, the shortstop. Shannon grounded out short to first, the first time up, to lead the ball game off. And she takes a strike. Shannon is also staying with Nancy and Al DeVries. Hard hit ball to shortstop. Benici keeps it in front of her, throws. Oh, nice play. The ball was hit hard. Benici got in front of it. That's why you teach your fielders to get in front of the ball. Took the hop off the chest, kept it in control, and she's got an excellent arm and threw the runner out by a half a step.
Well, for a 12-year-old, that was a rifle shot over to first base, and it had to be, and it had to be accurate to get the batter.
No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on base. We're scoreless after 2 1/2 innings.
In the major division, we've had 5 teams to start the field. From the East, Shippensburg, Pennsylvania, the Central team, Indianapolis, Indiana, the South team, Naples, Florida, the West team, Glendale, California, and then we also had a Michigan representative this year from Georgetown, Michigan. For the last 2 years, we've had the Michigan team seeded into the major field automatically, and basically that was because we had been led to believe rather strongly that we'd be having a foreign team in the field, namely the Philippine Islands. However, with all the political upheaval that they've had in the last couple of years, that has not come into reality, but we have kept the Michigan team seeded into the major field. The first game of the tournament saw Shippensburg, Pennsylvania defeat Georgetown 9-3, and then the second round, Indianapolis defeated Naples 2-0. On Tuesday, Glendale, California edged Indianapolis 2-1. And in a loser bracket game, Naples, Florida defeated Georgetown 6-3, which eliminated Georgetown. On Wednesday, Glendale, California beat Shippensburg, Pennsylvania 6-4 in a winners bracket game. And Naples, Florida eliminated Indianapolis 14-0, the rematch of the opening game that we talked about. And then yesterday, Naples got into this game with an 8-2 win over Shippensburg, Florida. And here we are now, bottom of the third inning, 0-0. Leading off for Naples is number 8, the first baseman, Crystal Hamilton. And you can hear the crowd along the right field line. That's
Glendale, California, and they've got a strong contingent here.
And they got the retort from the Naples, Florida crowd. They're both pretty strong. Crystal Hamilton is staying with Sandra and John Hendricks. Has a 1-1 count on her. Strike 2.
Cindy Bennett is really bringing that ball to the plate now. These girls are swinging very, very light at that ball.
We've got another strikeout there, right? At the plate now is Angela Curlew, the pitcher, number 7. Angela is staying with Gail Ginter. Angela is 0 for 4 in this series, but Angela has 7 walks and a hit by pitch so far, so she knows how to get on base.
Well, if you take a good look at Angela, she's not overly tall, crouches a little bit at that plate, and makes the pitcher throw a strike.
At the end of this inning, we're going to be visiting with Linda Osterhaus, one of the housing coordinators. We've talked about how important that is.
Well, if you've ever put on a tournament of any nature and where you have to house the youngsters, the backbone of this tournament really are the parents that really put themselves out for a week. Many of them take vacation time, because not only do you house these girls, but you're responsible for getting them over here for practice, for games, cleaning their uniforms, taking care of their clothes. They become one of the family, and having housed for many years, it's sort of sad sometimes to see these girls off on the plane Sunday morning.
Well, we have 9 teams here with 14 players apiece, and I think that figures out to about 126 ball players. 2 to a home, that's about 63 homes. We have some people that enjoy it so much they've taken 4, and I think Linda will probably be able to tell us, but I can recall at least seeing one family with 6. And we've got strike 3 called on Curlew. So we've got 2 down now. We're at the top of the order with a shortstop, number 12, Jean Bonisi. Jean was safe on the air in the first inning.
Jean Bonisi.
She really digs in there, Bob. I don't know how good the sound is, but I could hear that crack from here. If you want to know what that was the ball hitting the leather of the catcher's glove. Bonisi hits a fly ball in the left center. That drops in. I think that's the first hit of the ball game, isn't it, Bob?
First hit. And it was a good one.
Jean's made good contact both times up and into the Batter's box, number 13, the left fielder, Melissa Tolson. She struck out her first time up. Takes one in the dirt for ball one. Line shot, nice catch by the second baseman, Tracy Young. So at the end of the inning, no runs, one hit, no errors, one left on base. And at the end of 3 innings, it's Glendale, California nothing, Naples, Florida nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're watching a ball game that's just as good as it's advertised.
We'd like to welcome Linda Osterhaus up here. Linda is one of our housing coordinators, and we've been singing the praises of the housing coordinators, Linda. And not only are you responsible for one team out in the Parchman area, but I believe you have 2 teams that you're taking care of. Why don't you tell us who you have and how all this works?
Oh, well,
On behalf of the entire tournament, we thank you
all Parchman people, and
for your
Parchman
generous
is just
contribution.
a fairly small little league, so I thought it would be hard to find enough homes to house 2 full teams, but I didn't have any trouble. Everybody had heard about it from other people who had housed, and were real excited and happy to do it. And in fact, I had people I had to turn down because, you know, everybody wanted to do it. And I had a lot of first-time people this year too, and they all said they loved it, enjoyed it, and just, you know, are excited about doing it again.
Now, which teams do you have out there?
We had the Michigan team, the Georgetown team, that was the major division, and then we also had the Senior South, that's Canton, North Carolina.
Who won today, and they're going to be in the finals tomorrow, right?
They're going to be in the finals, and that's real exciting.
Do you have children at your house this week?
Yeah, we have 2 girls from North Carolina, yeah, and it's just been a great experience. We've just enjoyed it so much.
Have you housed before?
Yeah, this is our 3rd year. This is our 3rd year.
We're just
going to continue to do it because we love it so much. And
right here on Wilson Field,
I have 2 boys, and they love having the girls.
Senior Division Championship game
it's just
tomorrow.
Once you do it, you have to keep doing it. It gets in your blood.
It sure does. Like Bob Klein mentioned, you know, the tug on your heart when those kids get on the bus or
Yes.
get on the plane, it just eats you up when they leave.
These kids come in on Sunday, and they're perfect strangers, and after a couple days, I mean, you're cheering for them like they're your own kids. You really do. And when they lose, you're sad, just like they are. And when they win, you're happy. And you make some real close friendships. Not only just the girls, but also all the parents who have traveled so far to come. And it's, you know, it's just really, it's a great experience. It really is.
Usually you get cards and some kind of contact throughout the year from the people that you've housed for the year before and years before.
You end up making permanent friends, you know, forever. You see these kids at Christmas, or you may go to visit them wherever they're from, and you know, they send their high school pictures, and you send pictures back, and it's just a friendship that always is there. It's just, you know, every year you start out with 2 girls, and then you have 4 girls, and the next, you know, you just keep getting new girls every year and make a lot of new friends.
Well, Bud Vanderberg has remarked several times that without the housing people, housing parents, we would not be able to put this tournament on. And that is so true, because one of the things that we like to pride ourselves about in Kalamazoo, not only the playing facilities, is the hospitality, and it starts right with the housing parents.
Oh, I agree. I agree. It's a big job, and you're real busy, but it is so rewarding. I mean, you just feel, you know, it's just such an important part of this, like I say, this tournament, and it's just, it has to be done, and we enjoy doing it, and I'm sure the girls love it too. They really enjoy being housed like this. They like being part of a family, I think, and they're much more comfortable being housed like this. They really enjoy it. They make a lot of new friends, and with all the brothers and sisters from all the housing families, and that's important to them too. They really feel at home. And we find good people, you know. We've got a lot of good people in this area that do it, and it's just really great.
Well, we'd like to have the same problem next year then, Linda, where we have to turn people away.
Yes.
So we hope that
Yes.
anybody that's listening and would like to get involved as a housing parent next year, just get a hold of Linda Osterhaus or Tim DeHaan or Bud Vanderberg or Bob Klein, and we'll take care of you. Linda, thanks so much for coming up and talking to us about this.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, Bob, in the meantime, while we were chatting with Linda, we had Cindy Bennett hit a ground ball to Jean Benici at short. She vacuumed it up, threw her out, and we just had Veronica Acosta foul out to the first baseman. And those are a couple big outs, the second and third hitters in the lineup. At the plate, Brenda Line, the cleanup hitter.
Glendale seems to be swinging the bat a little bit better than Naples, Florida at this point in the ball game. Whether it'll continue or produce a run, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, Bob, the way it's going, we might have a 1-0 game, or maybe we'll just have some extra innings, 0-0.
Could very well be.
Well, we've got 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs now, top of the 4th. The count goes full. Strike 3 called, so that ends the inning. 3 up, 3 down. This game is really moving along.
Moving right along. We should remind everyone that in Little League, the 12-year-old level, the games do only go 6 innings.
After 3 and a 1/2 inning.
So we are more than halfway through this ball game already, and I think we've got 2 hits, 1 for each side. And these 2 young ladies, Angela Curlew and Cindy Bennett are controlling this ball game, and both of them are throwing strikes as the number of strikeouts indicate. So, well, we're not even an hour into this ball game, Bob, so it really is moving along. And we've had a very few number of walks so far.
If your number
in fact is, how many walks have we?
3, 0,
I think
3, 2, 4, 9. I'm sorry, ma'am, I called the wrong number. I'm sorry.
Marathon of a 12-year-old getting the ball over the plate. They can't really appreciate what's taking place here this evening, so I hope these girls continue to have the good stuff that they've shown so far, that this ball game is just going to move right along. I think 1 run may just win this ball game.
It certainly looks like it, the way the defense and the pitching has been. This is major division softball at its finest. That's why these 2 teams are where they're at. They're the top 2 teams in the United States.
Just have to remember that they are 12-year-old girls out there, and if something goes wrong, whether it's a bad play by one of their fielders, whether it's a walk that they thought should have been a strike, can sometimes affect their emotions. And when their emotions get down or become erratic, it can affect their playing. And you just hope that these 2 pitchers can keep it together, because this is an excellent ball game.
We've talked about Cindy Bennett and the dominating pitcher that she's been up to this point. Well, Lanier just strokes that one into right center field. That ball was the best hit ball we've seen today. Singles. And
Victoria hit that one well.
Jana Knezovich.
Up to the plate is the number 4 hitter in the lineup, Jana Knezovich. This is talking about Cindy Bennett. The first 5 games that she threw at the All-Star competition were shutouts, Bob.
Well, it's easy to see how she gets the shutouts with that pitch that she has. She's a little bit wild right now, and I think that base hit, as I said, might have shaken her up just a little bit. She needs to calm down a little bit here. Slow down more than anything else.
Imagine she's not too used to having somebody stroke one like that. Victoria really hit that ball well. We might mention that in the 9 years that this the World Series has been in Kalamazoo at Vandenberg Park here, not 1 home run has been hit over the fence. Not 1 ball.
That's right. That's right. That's amazing, because there's been some good ball players in here, some real power hitters.
Ground ball to line at first. She touches the bag, goes to second, and Lanier's in with a head-first slide. Throw was in the dirt. I don't know if she would have been out because the force was off. Lyon made the smart play. She got the sure out and then threw to second. Made it close, but Lanier went in head first.
It's also somewhat of a dangerous throw because that ball could have just as easily wound it up in left field. And Lanier could have been on third base.
So we've got one out now and the runner in scoring position at second base with Karen Blanford, the right fielder, at the plate. Karen struck out her first time up. She's got a 1-1 count on her. Now, when I say scoring position at second base, again, keep in mind with 4 outfielders, that isn't always easy to score on an single to the outfield from second base. She pops it down the right field line. It's into the Glendale sector of fans. We have 2 ball girls every game at the World Series. The spectators are requested to make sure the foul ball gets to the ball girl rather than thrown out to an umpire and causing some problems on the playing field. Ground ball, top slowly to third.
Bobbled it.
Darlene Anderson got over for it. She wasn't able to come up with it cleanly. We'll wait and see how they scored that. But rather than, after she bobbled it, they did give her an error. After she bobbled it, the temptation is to still try to throw that runner out, but she was cognizant of the fact she had a runner on second and at least was able to keep the runner at second.
Well,
and
I think
force.
She looked at the bag. She looked at third base. She wanted to make sure that she did not allow that base runner to get to third.
Really not in too bad a shape with first and second now. They still have force at second and third. At the plate is Nikki Calavides, third baseman, who struck out her first time up. She is a small girl, but she takes a wicked swing at it. And she's the number 6 hitter in the lineup. She hits a ground ball to Young at second. Young gets the sure out. She had to come way over to her left and threw out Calavides. Smart play because it would have been tough to get the runner at second base.
I think that was the only play she had.
Up to the plate, Elizabeth Bartels, the second baseman. She also struck out her first time up. Runners now at second and third. 2 outs. Oh, this is going to be trouble. Anderson picks it up, throws, and Bartels beat it out. And oh, we've got the runners dancing around here. And as Blanford took a big lead off of third base, Bartels smartly moved up to second. It's a difficult decision what to do.
Ball was bobbled just a little bit.
Tanya Brousseau.
Just long enough.
They did score that as a base hit. Ball wasn't hit very hard, but in the right spot. And Naples is on the scoreboard. At the plate, Tanya Brousseau, the catcher, she grounded out pitcher to the first baseman her first time up. We still have runners at second and third. Naples has scored. First run of the game here in the bottom of the fourth. Ground ball to Young at second. Picks it up, throws over the line, and that ends the inning. But Naples gets that big run. We've mentioned that maybe one run could win this ball game. So at the end of 4 innings, Naples takes a 1-0 lead. They scored 1 run on 2 hits. There was an error. 2 runners left on. An unearned run, but an unearned run still looms large on the scoreboard.
1 error, 2 left on base. 1-0 Naples after 4 complete innings.
I don't think Glendale, California has ever been behind in the ball game. at this level, and I'm not certain whether they've been behind in a ball game all the way through this tournament. So we're going to see what kind of character these young girls have got, whether they can come back.
I count 15 games, Bob, and only 1, 2, 3, 4 of those games did the opponent score. One of those games was a 3-1 victory, a 12-2 victory, a 2-1 victory, and a 6-4 victory. And I know in the last two, the 6-4, 2, and the 2-1, they were ahead in both those games, and I would assume in the 12-2 game they might have been. So very likely that they have not been behind possibly the first game on July 18th. So it's been a long, long ways.
Well, I noticed their manager, Ron Young, and their coach, Frank Kornblatt, had a long discussion with the girls before they went into the dugout. So just got to calm them down a little bit and see what happens.
Well, they're at the number 5 spot in the batting order with Tracy Young. Young is one of their premier athletes.
Thank you very much.
She's going to be trying to get something started here.
For California.
She takes a strike to even the count, 1-1. She lines one into, left center field. Victoria Lanier came in real well on that ball. Looked like she had it hit. Looked like it hit in the heel of her glove, Bob, and bounced out.
It did. It was a well-hit ball, and she was charging toward the plate. Bounced off the heel of that glove. She did a little balancing act.
Darlene Anderson.
Tried to juggle it, but failed to hold on to it. So Glendale has a run.
Our official scorer and voice of the World Series scored that an error, which I guess I have to go along with. It was hit hard, but she had it in her glove. And we'll see now if maybe the error will open the door for Glendale. Anderson takes a strike. Evens the count at 1-1. This is Darlene Anderson, the third baseman. She had an error last inning. She pops one up. First baseman, Crystal Hamilton, settles under it. Interesting, Bob. Crystal Hamilton, the first baseman, oftentimes you stick a big player over at first base. Big target. If you look out on the field, Crystal is probably on the smaller scale of the players that Naples has out on the field.
That's correct, but she has an excellent glove.
Another pop-up, and Crystal Hamilton puts that one away, and that takes care of April McGeorge. So that's 2 outs. Then what looked like a promising start is fizzled real quick here. However, Annabelle Camacho, the center fielder, going to see what she can do about that. And she pops one down the right field line. Oh, man. Good effort.
Annabelle Camacho is the batter.
Crystal Hamilton went over there and ran into the fence, although it was cushioned by the tarp. And she pulled up as she got over there, but she sure gave it an effort. We saw Hamilton's glove in effect in that first inning. There's a ground ball up the middle. It gets through, and that looks like a base hit to me.
That ball had eyes. I think it went through 3 girls under 1 glove.
Up the middle with a base hit. We've got runners at first and second. And the scheduled batter is the catcher, number 19, Jennifer Smith.
She's going back to the dugout.
Not so sure. We might be seeing a pinch hitter. I'm not sure. Or maybe just some instruction. No, I think we're going to have a pinch hitter. Notice how she's got those 2 bats just like we do in the pros. Okay, Lisa Castillo, a 12-year-old, number 21. She's been used in a pinch hitting role so far in the series. She's 1 for 2. She's staying with Evelyn and Oscar Heinz. Lisa, good-sized young lady. Looks like if she makes contact with the ball, very similar to Victoria Lanier for Naples.
She's in a tough situation here. There's 2 runners on, 2 out.
We might mention, Bob, that we do play with a re-entry rule here. If a starter is replaced, as in this case here where Jennifer Smith, the starting catcher, is being pinch hit for, she can re-enter, go back into the ball game once. So very possibly we could see her go back to catch. In fact, that would be my prediction. In fact, we could see if Lisa Castillo gets on base, you might even see Jennifer Smith go back in and pinch run for her. We do have timeout. Manager from Naples, George Pittman.
Well, I think George wants to come out. He just wants to quiet Angela Curlew down a little bit. She's got 2 runners on in a tough situation. She's got 3 balls on the batter. And just trying to lose it a little bit. As I said, at 12 years old, you have to treat these young ladies with tender, loving care. George came out, had a talk with Angela. We'll see what happens now.
George is George Pittman from Naples, Florida. And I think out of the dugout is the coach for Glendale, Frank Kornblatt, and I think he might be tagging to his batter because she just swung at a 3-0 pitch, and I don't know as if he really wanted her to.
Well, not only did she swing at the 3-0 pitch, she didn't make a very good effort at trying to hit the ball. It was a lazy swing. And
normally in a situation like this, you probably want to play the percentage and have her take that 3-0 pitch and get the base runner on. And she took that one, took a strike, so now the count is full 3-2. Real key moment of this ball game here. And she fouled that one off. Hung tough. Looked like that might have been a ball, but that was so close that with 2 strikes, you can't take that close pitch.
difficult to take a pitch with 2 strikes, the World Championship on the line. We're in the 5th inning. Glendale has only one more crack plus this one.
And that's strike 3, so whatever George Pittman had to say to Angela Curlew, it sure worked because after going down 3 balls, no strikes, she came back and put 3 by her. Big strikeout. And we're going into the bottom of the 5th now with Naples leading 1-0.
Well, as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, we've got ourselves a 1-run ball game. Naples, Florida, if they hold on, will force a 2nd game in the championship, which will be played tomorrow afternoon at 3:30, immediately following the senior championship game.
After 4 1/2 innings.
We might have, there's always a possibility on Saturday that we could have anywhere from 1 to 3 ball games.
That's right.
Senior championship game is scheduled for 1 o'clock, and as Bob mentioned, if Naples would win this ball game, it will force a game tomorrow after the 1 o'clock senior game. And in the senior game at 1 o'clock, we have Tigard, Oregon unbeaten, facing Canton, North Carolina with 1 loss. And if Canton would happen to win that ball game, then we would have a game after the major game. So we could have 1, 2, or 3 ball games tomorrow. And George Pittman for Naples just went along the front of the dugout, and he told us Naples girls, he says, I want to run.
Well, we'll see what happens.
George Pittman is a veteran in the Kalamazoo area. He's been up the Naples teams just about every year, if not as a manager, as a coach, as a spectator.
Well, some of these parents from Naples winter in Michigan, or I should say winter, spend their summers in Michigan just following their softball teams, because they've been up here, I think, all 9 years that this tournament's been in existence.
How's it
Pop-up. Darlene Anderson calls for it, and she puts it away. We've got an out. That was Crystal Hamilton up to the plate. Number 7, Angela Curlew, the pitcher. Angela up there, she struck out her only time at bat. As we mentioned, she knows how to work a walk. And she takes a ball. At the end of this inning, we're going to be chatting with Robert Iamuri, who is up here with the Naples group. Robert has managed and coached at this World Series several times, has a few World Championships under his belt. He might give us a little insight into the Naples battle plan here. Ground ball back to the mound. Bennett over the line, and we've got 2 outs. And we go to the top of the order with Jean Medici. The shortstop, she has hit the ball well both times up. Grounded to short, was safe on an error, and then singled. Back in the 3rd inning. And if Naples would win this ball game, I would think that she would be pitching tomorrow. She's pitched 2 strong games here so far. And she puts one on the outfield. Annabelle Camacho. Correction, that was Veronica Acosta out there with a nice catch, and that ends the inning. So at the end of 5, we've got Naples, Florida 1, Glendale, California 0, and Naples is 3 outs away from forcing a championship game about 3:30 tomorrow. Robert Iamuri, nice to have you with us. What do you think about this ball game so far, pal?
It's working like we've planned. We've always had the theory in Naples, play very strong defense, try to throw strikes. Angela's doing a good job. Jean's making a few nice plays, and we got a nice play out of Knezvik at first base, at right field, getting a girl out on a base hit from right field.
The 4 to 9 to 3, just like you guys practice probably endlessly, right?
Oh, at least 3 times a day we practice that one.
What can we expect? Will we see Benici tomorrow if we win this ball game here?
She's got a sore knee, so it's going to depend on how her knee feels. Most likely, that's who he's been using up here, so I plan on him using Jean.
If we do have to go to another pitcher, who can we look for, or possibilities at least?
He's got a couple pitchers. At second, you got Elizabeth. This has been his number 3. She's thrown 2 or 3 games, but I really think he's going to stay right there with these 2. They've been there, his heart and soul, the last 6 games.
Now, I mentioned that you've got a couple championships under the belt. Why don't you just tell us what credits you might have?
Well, we've been very fortunate, and I'm just a part of the whole program. We're fortunate we got a big program. I just happen to be the person in the dugout. We've been up here now 10 years with the Naples team. We've been 8 years with the seniors. I've been fortunate to be with 3 different coaches in that dugout, and we've got 3 world titles with those teams.
It's got to be a real thrill to get to this far and get to a World Series, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it's just the travel and just the excitement of just developing a family to get through the year.
Well, Robert, thanks. We're going to finish this ball game here. We've got the leadoff batter, number 3, Monica Hernandez, left fielder. She struck out her first time up, and Naples is 3 outs away from a championship round tomorrow. Glendale's got 3 outs, though, to try to tie it up or go ahead. Thanks again, Robert.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I got 2 balls and 2 strikes on Hernandez, so we'll... That's out number 1 in the 6th inning, Jim, so Naples is 2 outs away from forcing the second game tomorrow afternoon at 3:30.
You know, last year, I don't want to put any hex on Glendale, California. Last year in a major division, Tampa, Florida was the defending champion, And they opened up with their first game in a shutout loss to Essexville, Michigan, who was the Michigan representative last year. And Tampa came through the losers bracket and won it.
That's right. I remember that very well. They played excellent ball after that first loss, and Naples is almost mirroring their image and performance of last year.
Well, at the plate is the shortstop, number 12, Shannon Filez. Shannon's grounded out short to first and second to first. But she's got a 1-2 count on her right now. Time is called as the coach from Glendale, Frank Kornblatt, wants to talk to her, give her some pointers. Karen King, home plate umpire, is going over, wants to know just how many pointers he wants to give her.
Well, I think Karen would like to keep this ball game moving along. We've had the definite threat of rain all evening here, and with the cloudy, overcast skies, it's going to get dark soon. And when you're sitting on a 1-0 ball game, you're looking at the possibility of extra innings even.
Line shot.
That's up the
might
middle.
Get up the alley. No, it is a base hit. They kick it around. Big turn. And Lanier gets it back in. Well, Blanford and Lanier really converged on that quick. I thought for a minute that might get up the alley. And Filez took a big turn, but Lanier stayed with that real well and got the ball back into the infield. But that was a big base hit with 2 strikes. And at the plate now, we've got Cindy Bennett, the pitcher. Cindy has singled and grounded out short to first. We've got 1 out here in the top of the 6th. Ball 1, a little low. Naples, Florida needs 2 outs.
Well, Glendale's in the top part of their order, and usually you try to put your best players, your best hitters in the top of that order because they're going to get up to bat with an extra time, and that's about what's happening right now. So we'll see if Glendale can come through.
Counts 1-1. Line shot right at the second baseman. She throws to first. Almost doubled her off. And Bob, you can't hit the ball any harder than that. Bennett hit a shot right at Elizabeth Bartels. And Glendale's down to their last out. Today, at least.
At least Bartels is tall because she needed all the heights she had on that one.
At the plate, number 11, the rover, Veronica Acosta. She is struck out and popped to first. Takes one a little inside. You could hear the crowd groan. They thought that was a strike. That one looked like it had a little bit of a rise on it. Veronica fouled that one off. Evens the count at 1-1. Line shot, that's going to drop. Oh, what a nice catch. And that ends the ball game. That was Jana Kanizovic, who came in out of nowhere and made a real nice running catch, about knee-high, I would say, and that ends the ball game. What a super ball game, 1-0. Naples, Florida, defeating Glendale, California. Bob, that's as good a ball game as you're going to want to see.
Well, you could pay for that ball game. That was an excellent ball game. I said at the beginning that I thought probably one run would win the game, and that's exactly what happened this evening. And now Glendale has to
3:30 tomorrow afternoon for the Major
regroup,
Championship
come
ball
back
game.
out here at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon, and
Final score, 1-0.
that will definitely be for the national championship.
Well, that game is scheduled to go at about 3:30 tomorrow. Bob, I'll let you maybe total things up here a minute. We'll fill them in on the senior division and then get back to you, and you can recap all the scoring, which won't be too bad with only 1 run being scored. Tomorrow, Saturday, 1 o'clock, we have the senior championship game, which will be Tigard, Oregon, against Canton, North Carolina. Canton, North Carolina has 1 loss. So they have to beat Tigard twice to become the national champions. At 3:30, we will have a rematch of this game, Glendale, California, Naples, Florida, for all the marbles. Both teams have one loss now. And if Tigard loses to Canton, North Carolina at the 1 o'clock game, then we'll have a game following the 3:30 game, which would go at about 6 o'clock. So we're going to have at least 2 ball games tomorrow. In the senior division, we have 4 teams. To start with, we had Bridgeton, New Jersey from the East region, Canton, North Carolina from the South region, Essexville, Michigan from the Central region, and Tigard, Oregon from the West. And again, the championship game will pit Tigard, Oregon against Canton, North Carolina. Bob, you've had a chance to get your pencil flying there. We didn't work you too hard tonight.
Well, it was an easy game to score, Tim. Naples, the winner, had 1 run on 3 hits, and they committed 1 error. Angela Curlew is the winning pitcher. Naples scored in the 4th inning. They got a single from Victoria Lanier. And then she advanced over to second base on an out, ground ball to the first baseman. Advanced to third on an error. Well, no, she stayed at second base on the error by the third baseman. And then just 2 infield balls hit to the second baseman and then back to the third baseman that were slow rollers. Brought Victoria home, and that was the only run that they really needed.
The ground ball to second moved her to third, and then that little chopped ball to third base that was scored a base hit. Nothing much you could do about it.
And the totals for Glendale, California, they had no runs on 2 hits, and they committed 2 errors. So that's an excellent ball game for this level, the 12-year-olds. We'll be back tomorrow, Tim, for the wrap-up of the seniors championship game. Maybe we'll have another if game then. But from Wilson Field and Vandenberg Park, that's it for this evening.
Well, thanks, Bob. Bob Klein on the color. Tim DeHaan here with play-by-play at Vandenberg Park. The 9th consecutive year at the Little League Softball World Series. Thanks for being with us.